So I want to read this story I found on Business Insider. It says Indiana is getting a 15 billion in big tech investments. Residents don't want to foot the energy bill. This story goes on to read about Indiana's data center boom requires a lot more power and risks saddling customers with the cost. When President Donald Trump in January announced a deal with a billionaire in Dubai to build data centers across the U.S., it immediately raised alarm bells in Indiana. He said that state and seven others were part of the first phase of the 20 billion foreign investments plan. It could add to Indiana's growth fleet of data centers under construction by companies including Amazon, Microsoft, Google, which need huge amounts of computing power for the artificial intelligence boom. The growth risks saddling residents with hundreds of millions of dollars in additional costs through higher energy bills. The situation has set off a debate in Indiana over who should foot the bill for the new power plants and transmissions infrastructures needed to serve data centers. A bill moving through the Indiana legislature would require tech firms like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google to cover 80% of project costs, which it enacted would, if enacted, would make it the first state to do so. At the same time, the bill would allow Indiana utilities to try and pass the cost of building smaller nuclear reactors to customers. Tech companies hope these early stage energy solutions could someday supply cleaner, around the clock power to the data centers. They got to be fucking kidding me. Come on. It's a mixed bag for Indiana residents that consumer advocacy groups oppose and underscore a dilemma many states across the country are confronting: how to hold tech firms accountable for their power hungry data centers and their promises that AI will be powered by green energy. Are you fucking serious? So far, fossil fuels like natural gas and coal plants are expected to meet the demand. If companies want to build a data center here and we have to build new power generation for them, then they need to share in that risk. Indiana Representative whatever Republican Ed Soliday, a Republican who authored the bill, told Business Insider there are a couple of data centers folks that have said, "Oh no, that's not fair." Yes, it is. Grandma down the street shouldn't have to pay for your dreams. Aaron Tingham, Vice President of Energy at the Data Center Coalition, a trade group, said in a statement that the industry is committed to paying its full cost of service. He said state utility commissions are best positioned to ensure costs and rates are allocated fairly across all customers. The data center industry will continue to lean in as a collaborative partner with utilities, grid operators, policymakers, regulators, and other stakeholders at this transformative moment to advance and accelerate grid moderation and energy infrastructure to support economic growth and competitiveness, he said. Indiana courts power hungry data centers. While Indiana doesn't top the list of major U.S. data center hubs, the Rust Belt state is emerging as another player for many reasons. Indiana has a reliable power supply from coal and natural gas and can draw electricity from two regional grids. That state has a low risk of natural disaster that could disrupt that supply. Indiana lawmakers in 2019 exempted data centers equipment and energy from use from sales taxes. Land is also cheaper. Land is also cheaper than other parts of the country. So, y'all, we better get our land back. Well, I ain't. My family ain't from here, so I don't know if we got land here. Those perks have attracted large data centers to northern Indiana. Last year, Amazon Web Service started construction on a 11 billion data center campus in New Carlisle. Google announced plans to build a 2 billion data center in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Microsoft is planning a 1 billion data center in LaPorte, Indiana. Meta is investing 800 million in a campus in southern Indiana that could operate by 2026. Wow. Projects in the pipeline, that's why they always digging in the streets, could consume more electricity than nearly 7 million residents. That's why the electricity is always going up. It ain't about the lights and shit being on. It's about they always raising it up every year. In Indiana combined by 2035, according to a forecast by state utilities and analyzed by the Citizens Action Coalition of Indiana, an advocacy group that opposes data center development in the state. So it just goes on to say, oh yeah, Indiana regulators approved the settlement in February. The utility Indiana Michigan Power initiated the changes to what is big industry energy users pay after forecasting that data centers could increase peak electricity demand by 150% by 2030 to the more than 7,000 megawatts. That's equivalent to power for about 4.6 million residents in the state of two-thirds of Indiana's entire population, and that's just one utility service area. The Northern Indiana Service Public Service Company's latest forecast shows data centers could double its energy demand by 2035. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. The Indiana Mike Warren told News 10 in February that he supported a nuclear power, but the utility should shoulder the cost. I'm hesitant about the solely on the back of the ratepayers, Brown said, adding that the utility companies will have to absorb those costs through capitalism. The fuck? They are out they are out there as investors own, and some of that is going to have to be the risk that they take, Brown said. The bill passed the House on February 13th and was referred to a Senate committee. The Indiana legislature is in session through April. Meanwhile, the data center boom shows no signs of slowing in Indiana and across the U.S., including from foreign investors eager to get a stake at the AI race. A real estate tycoon dubbed Hussein Sajwani, a real estate tycoon dubbed the Donald of Dubai. Wow, Dubai, of all places though, has business deals with Trump and Elon. Whether he planned 20 billion investments in data centers is getting underway in Indiana is unclear, but for Inscape it wasn't surprising. Here comes another one. Inscape said of his initial reaction. At this moment in time, we're just seeing so many data centers flood into Indiana. That's a bit overwhelming, and it's really hard to fathom the magnitude of the impact. Google declined BI's request to commit. Microsoft didn't respond. Amazon not no comment. It's fucked up. You better get it together, y'all. How you end this? How you stop it? Oh my goodness.